ones with those three things. I'm really sad to say, and I'm kind of embarrassed. I watch escapist stuff, so I'll watch, and I really shouldn't do this because they take jobs from actors with the reality shows. So I hate to admit, I watch American Idol. And I watch The Amazing Race.
Have you seen the original CSI?
You know what, I don't watch the original CSI. I don't. I just think that we're better. So why would I do that? You know, there's some measure of sibling rivalry, but I'll be honest, New York City is the greatest city in the United States, and I believe it's one of the greatest cities in the world, if not the greatest city in the world. It's more cultural diversity, it's more interesting. So you can take 50 Vegases and 50 Miamis, and you still don't add up to one New York.
Hi, I'm Tero from Finland, here in the front row.
Oh,
hey.
hi.
You just partially answered the question, because my question was that do you watch the other CSIs and do you ever wish that some of the storylines would be at your show?
Well, I will say this. On CSI Miami, they have a lot of beautiful women in bikinis, and I wish we had more of that, but for some reason in New York City, there are not a lot of women in bikinis walking around. So that's kind of a bummer for me on the acting side. But what's cool is Adam Rodriguez and Emily Proctor are wonderful. I love them to death. They're great. We've done 2 crossover episodes with CSI Miami. And I do enjoy those. I don't know if we'll ever do a crossover with the Vegas show. I know Bill Peterson didn't really want to do that. But now that he's left the show, that may change. I don't know. For me personally, I watch all of our shows, and I really am a fan of our shows. I think that our storylines are great. I think that they're interesting. I think some of the storylines that we had this past year, really, really interesting. And I just think that we're better.
So do you wish that you would visit again Miami and see the bikini ladies?
Well, maybe, but I probably shouldn't say this, but David Caruso, he's a wonderful actor, but you don't want to do too many scenes with him. How you doing?
So what's your trademark?
Yes, my trademark on my show is my intelligence. That's it.
Hello, I'm Chris from Switzerland. Going back to the education thing, you said you published 2 books about education for the teenager.
Yes.
I would like to know if you think the show you showing the right example about value and what values you will teach your own children. What are the most important values for you in life?
I absolutely think that our show definitely shows the right values. They're very simplistic values, but basically that if you make the right choices and you do good and you don't hurt other people, then you win. And if you hurt people, then you will be punished. And that's it. And so it's a very simplistic thing, but that's our show. And we're very good at punishing and finding, catching the bad person. And I like that message. I choose, just in my career, there's a number of roles I could have taken over the course of my career so far that I believe could have made me much more famous and much more wealthy, but I chose not to do them because I felt that they had a denigrating or destructive message, the project did. And so I don't judge the actors who did end up taking those roles. That's fine, because I don't know their life. But I just choose to participate in projects that I believe have some measure of uplifting spirit. But it's not just the role. In other words, I would love playing bad guys. I'd love to play bad guys. But if the overall message of the project is negative, That's the difference. So it's not just the role, it's the project.
Yeah, hi, I'm Katri from Finland. There's a lot of awful stories to tell in your theatre. So have you heard real life stories about those, and have you seen maybe something, and are you exploring those, like, do you have some kind of facts what's going on in New York or?
Yes, you know, in my research, what I do is when I first got the show, I would go out and spend time with the real crime scene investigators and go around with them and then go into the morgue and sit in on autopsies. The first autopsy I sat in on, he had been dead for 90 days. His whole stomach had turned green and rotted. And when they cut him open, the smell, I've never smelled anything so foul. They thought that I was going to throw up, but I didn't. I maybe threw up a little bit in my mouth, but that's okay. And you guys don't laugh at any of my jokes. I guess so. It just smelled horribly, but we have experts on the show that we talk about different things. And I got sent for some of the DVD extras, I think it was season 3, they asked me to go to Tennessee where they have the world-renowned body farm. And they have 192 different dead bodies that are in different states of decay. Some they buried 6 feet in the ground, some 2 feet, some leaves, some they put in dumpsters, trash cans. And what it does is it helps the forensic experts determine time of death based on how they were left. Some they put in air-conditioned rooms, some they put in, because they have to study it. And really how they determine how long you've been dead is based on the size and the different types of maggots that appear in the body. And so you have a sense of if it's a certain type of maggot, the body's been dead a longer period of time. And probably the most disgusting thing that I experienced ever to date is that they brought me to a barrel where they had put a dead body in the barrel outside in Tennessee in the heat. And it had been there for months. And they said, you're not going to believe what you're going to see when you open up the lid. And I opened up the lid, and it was just all this, it was almost like a soup of blood and intestines, and it was disgusting. And the smell. And they had a long wooden stick with a spoon at the end, and they said, dip the stick in the spoon. And I lifted it up, and this stuff over the spoon. It was disgusting. I can't even tell you.
Oh my God.
What do you want?
But that, you realize these people are truly scientific experts and heroes, and they do their research to figure out, okay, if someone has been killed and buried this way, we can try to track the person who did it based on when they did it, how we figured it out, and all those things.
How these people how have they get to Tennessee? Have they written some kind of form that when I die, you can put me in there and...
Right, the bodies get donated. Some people know to do that, to donate for research. And they also, sometimes if it's someone who is never claimed, who maybe it's a John Doe that has died, and they give a period of time, if it's a John Doe, someone with no ID and no fingerprint records, they're not going to spend money on trying to do a DNA trace to figure out who they are. They may not have DNA on them. So John Does, Jane Does, and people who donate their bodies for research end up there. And they end up, what they do is they also archive all the bones, because obviously once they go through the process of decay, they have all these bones. And so there's this whole, interestingly enough, the University of Tennessee, Knoxville has a huge